Today in the MOC we're going to be taking a trip to the past and battling it out with Lego. As in, fighting the company, not playing with toys. So, back in June of 2017, I came up with this idea for a giant 4-armed stone warrior from Ninjago. And then fast forward to January 2019, and Lego is doing something extremely similar. Coincidence? Yeah, probably, actually. I mean, my channel's pretty tiny, and while that, I honestly don't think it got enough for Lego to actually stumble across it and say, you know, it'd be great, we could use that in one of our sets. And if that actually was the case, I'd be honestly flattered more than anything else. I'm not gonna demand, like, free sets or royalties or anything, although, free sets, that honestly doesn't sound too bad. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to demand those. Anyway, enough rambling, let's take a look at the video. So basically, what happened now was that I took a look at Lego's design and said, you know what, their design actually does look a little bit better in some, well, probably most respects. My idea back then was pretty clumsy, and so I took the opportunity to steal from their design and kind of add to mine and polish it up a bit. I'll probably go into a more in-depth comparison between my original idea and Lego's idea in a future video when the sets actually release. At the time of this filming, they haven't, so we'll save that for then, but in the meantime, we'll just take a look at what I changed on my giant stone warrior, looking at theirs. So if we start off at ground level, we can see that the legs pretty much stayed exactly the same. In fact, the only thing I changed in between my designs was that I removed those 1x3 wedge plates from the sides and replaced that, whatever was on this side, with this 1x6 Technic beam. I think it makes the whole design look a lot cleaner, and it just looks better overall. Now, in order to match the actual look of the giant stone warrior, I probably should have made the legs completely black, but I kind of like the gray too, since that was the actual colors of the giant stone warrior. Granted, he didn't have the whole dual molded leg thing going on, but I mean, the whole thing could use a little updating anyway. That really didn't have anything to do with the new design, but I just swapped that out. Now, the part I really liked on Legos was this central section here with the armor. Now, that armor looks very layered and very nice, and so I knew when I saw it that I kind of had to copy it. Now, my armor originally was a whole lot less polished and a lot less smooth. In fact, it didn't have these nice slopes here. Now, my arms did stay the same. The arms on mine did stay the same. The one thing I did, though, was move these upper arms up a little bit to put more space in between them, to give more posability between the upper and lower arm. It really kind of makes it look like the giant stone warrior does have that dual torso thing that all the 4-armed minifigures have. One other thing real quick. So in Lego's version, let's pull off the head so you can see it easier. This entire thing is one piece. But if you'll take a look at the actual upper body torso of the giant stone warrior, there's actually a little gap in the head area. And if we turn to the back real quick, we can see that's really nothing too special. Most of the build did stay the same as it was in my original version. Actually, if we want to pull off the armor real quick, I'm gonna just show you how this was made. So if you want to kind of see how the giant stone warrior was built, I've partially disassembled it for you and we'll put it back together and I'll show you. Now the legs, as I pointed out earlier, are exactly the same as they were in the original. I just made that minor cosmetic change here. They're more like the giant Ant-Man minifigure's legs now, so if that helps you any. The torso, basically, it uses the exact same build as I showed in my original video. Instead of the area that was used for the shoulder armor, there's now one brick gap here, and I did throw in a little bit more red just to help the red and gray mesh. And then we pretty much built just like it was before. So we put in the wedge plates here. And the major difference was that now we put in these smaller wedge plates. I believe I used the 1x3 wedge plates in the original one, or 3x2, whatever they're called. We're also going to put in this red plate here. Then we use a red 4x4 with a red 2x4 plate, and then we used these curved slope pieces. These red ones are currently pretty hard to find. I grabbed mine from the Firstborn Dragon set, and if you're a Ninjago fan, you probably already have that one, so shouldn't be too hard to find. Then we just put that on. I did use more of those 2x2 wedge plates down here. And then from there, we just have to give the armor that layered look. So we grab 2 opposing wedge plates, put 2 more on top of that, and we're done. We have that nice layered look that the Lego version has. Oh, let's quick throw the arms in real quick. They didn't change. There's really nothing special about them. Now, the head is honestly where I put in most of the changes for mine, and where I feel like mine improved the most. So first of all, there's the horns, instead of using the bat wings for that, which first of all were the wrong color, and second of all, it just looked weird. I built these horns instead. Now they should have one of those 1x2 curved inverted slopes here, and maybe a 1x1 plate, just to help flesh them out a bit, but I didn't have it in red just yet, and so mine's gonna have this unfinished look for now. On the helmet, what I did, instead of the bracket I originally used, I used a smaller bracket, which you can kind of see here, along with these black 1x2 curved slopes with the corner cut out. I feel like that actually does match better the one in the show, and plus well, I didn't have those at the time, so I really couldn't use those. I do feel like the horn pieces that I used kind of blend in more smoothly and look a whole lot better with this build, so I stuck with them. The mouth guard here is also simplified a lot. It's basically one of these socket plate something with a clip for the wing and the wing. The wing does look more like the guard that's used on the giant Stone Warrior's helmet than the actual wedge plate that I used was. And then moving toward the back, let me actually get these out of the way so that we can see a little better. And moving toward the back, we can see I smoothed this area out a whole lot too. If we pull this off, we can see just how I did it. Basically, I kept the Ares head construction the same as it was originally. So these black pieces and this red piece are actually exactly the same. The reason why I swapped them was because, well, this red one actually came with the Ares set, so I just left it. There were 2 more red ones, so I could have left it that way, but I opted for black just to give the helmet a smoother, more cohesive look. And then I did a 1x2 black plate with a cheese slope, and then one of those 1x2 curved slopes, and I plugged that in. That was that part. And on the back, of course, as you can see, I went with the standard slope with one of these 1x2 plates with a rail in it. I just did that so that the helmet would kind of have this sort of rounded look at the bottom instead of just being this flat edge. And then for the front of the helmet, instead of using that 1x4 curved slope, what I did was I opted for Lego's design, which was this black hinge plate with cheese slopes all around. And then all I had to do was plug that in, put it down, and there we go. We have this nice kind of brim for the helmet. The top of the head is nothing too difficult. It's just a black 4x4 round plate with a black 2x2 round plate, and then 1x1 black corner piece with a stud. And the reason why I used these was because they added a nice curve to the helmet here. Let's put on this guard piece here. All I had to do from there was just take one of these black pieces, same one I used on the back of the helmet, plug it in, and we're done. See, nothing too complicated. Of course, you probably fell asleep halfway through that long and rambling, tedious explanation with poor lighting, but hey, let's hope you're awake now for the end, for the grand finale, because in the grand finale, I really don't have anything planned. I'm so sorry. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff. If there are other build videos you want to see, trust me, most of them are going to be probably a whole lot better than this one. Please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff. In the meantime, I'll be right here. I'm not going anywhere. More videos on the way.